literally prayed to God. I said, give me a word to start the video. And I opened up the Bible to Matthew 22:44. And I'm going to put this scripture on the screen so you can read it as I say it. But it says, the Lord declared to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your feet. And once I tell you what happened to me, hey y'all, what's up? It's Kayla V and I'm back with another video. This video is gonna be a little different, guys. Like I don't think I've really done like a video similar to this. The first video that I ever really like went into my spirituality was back in July. I don't know if you remember that. If you haven't seen it, go check that video out before watching this one. But as you guys remember, I posted a video back in July and I kind of like let you all into like my spirituality journey, my spiritual awakening, like things that were going on within my life. And that was like a really, really amazing time in my life. Like, and then right after that, like my life got so crazy, guys, like to the point that I was just like, what is happening, you know? So I kind of wanted to make a video, and this video will really be like talking about 2022 as a whole and how my spiritual journey unfolded, like how I've grown so much spiritually, my faith, my relationship with God, everything has just blossomed insanely. And the effects that it's had on my life, like how much I've changed in like 6 months. It is absolutely mind-blowing, and I really feel called to share this story because I do believe that I was tested. I feel like my faith was tested, and I feel like this all happened once I really started to develop and build my relationship with God, and it's just grown my relationship with him so much, guys, to the point where it's like I view him in a whole different way. Like I understand his love for me a little bit more. I understand like the connection and friendship that you need to build with God. Like it's just transformed me, my persona, like my aura, everything has just transformed so much. Even like how much I react to people, how much energy I pour into things, how intuitive I am into what I want to do, what I don't want to do, how everything's just kind of changing. So before I started this video, I was like, God, like really give me a word to like just kick the video off. And I thought this was such a confirmation when I prayed on this, and I'm like, this is just gonna be a bomb story and video. I got to share this. So I literally prayed to God. I said, give me a word to start the video. And I opened up the Bible to Matthew 22:44. And I'm going to put this scripture on the screen so you can read it as I say it. But it says, the Lord declared to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your feet. And once I tell you what happened to me, tell me this isn't the craziest confirmation that that would be what he said to start the video with. So I am going to be looking down and referencing because I did a timeline of events because I don't really want to forget anything. But I'm pretty much just going to go through like how all this unfolded, right? So let's just start off. So I want to give you guys an introduction to like just an insight into me a little bit more. So first of all, my parents never like forced religion on me or anything. Like when I tell you I've really been somebody that's curated and went out my way to form my own relationship with God, I really have. I didn't have to go to church growing up. Like I didn't have to read the Bible. My mom believes in God, but I wouldn't say my parents are religious or push religion. They were completely okay with me choosing what religion I wanted to be, figuring that out, and really exploring that aspect on my own. And personally, I do think that has a lot to do with why I'm so open to finding certain things as it relates to religion, because I never really was influenced or impacted by anybody's decision. And all I really had to go off was like these life experiences that kept on occurring. And I was just like, okay, this just can't be a coincidence. Like you're clearly being called to like build this relationship with God, and you need to like, you know, do it. And it's been a long journey since I've been introduced to God to now. So I would say it's like 10 years. So anyways, I got introduced to God seriously in college and would go to church on my own and just start like building that journey on my own at there. After college, I had moved to Arkansas, and I met this lady named Tamika, and she was really spiritual. We worked in the same office together. We started hanging out, and the more we got closer, like I just remember one night we had a really, really special night. It was a really crazy bond, and we were talking about God. We were just overwhelmed, like pouring into each other and just fellowship at her house. And she felt like the Holy Spirit had like kind of told her like that she felt like, you know, I would like kind of like preach in the future or be speaking or something where I like do something like that. And it's just so weird that she would say that. I really don't even know where she is in life now. Like, I hope she's doing well. But at that time, you know, whatever, like we connected and that was something I'll never forget. But what was distinct about that night was that she had told me I need to start my relationship, like building my relationship with God with the book of Job. And the book of Job pretty much like explains trials and tribulation. Like, it's about testing faith. So when I got back on this journey, and I've been on this journey, but when I say like really tapped in full on, started to isolate myself in this part of the journey, I reconnected, and the first day that I meditated, it was also the book of Job. So that started in July, and this was right after when you guys saw me build my deck, my meditation deck this summer, all that. It was the first day I like opened the Bible. I went back and I was reading, before I did this video, I went and read all my like meditation notes, which also made me feel called to do this video. But yeah, so I went back, I read all my meditation notes, and I realized that the first day that I started, it was about the book of Job. It was about trusting God and starting to depart on this journey where, like, you know, you have to understand that your faith is going to be tested. Like, that's a part of everything. So just keep that in mind, right? So, okay, cool. So I understand that whole thing. So let's just start off with the beginning of 2022, and then we'll move into July and just continue the story. So 2022 starts off amazing. Like, I just had spent, I was really hurt by something that like somebody I was, you know, dating at the time had done at the end of 2021. And I took 3 months after that, like up until my birthday pretty much. So my birthday is March 1st. So end of December, like, or like, you know, beginning to end of December through March, pretty much, I went into isolation. I was celibate. I didn't speak to anyone. I was just kind of really trying to work on myself at that point, and just felt like I didn't need to be with a man at that point, and just not really pouring into anybody else, but I needed to really focus on working on some things within myself and healing some things. So long story short, I like kind of like popped back out on my birthday, you could say. Like, I was like, you know, outside again, having fun. So my birthday was like one of the best birthdays I've ever had. Like, the love, the abundance, the just energy in the room was just phenomenal. I ended up going to Dubai for my birthday, and I had kept saying I wanted to go to Dubai for my birthday. Me and Bree were possibly gonna go, like, and then it didn't work out. And then like a few days around, like, but right before my birthday, I ended up figuring out I, you know, could go to Dubai with somebody that, you know, was like a friend of mine at the time. And I ended up going to Dubai. So Dubai was like a really fun trip. It was so bomb, and it was just so surreal because I had kept saying like I wanted to go to Dubai for my birthday, and it just magically like worked out. When I tell y'all, I already had the days off from work, and it was just on some, oh, you going to Dubai? Like, I want to come to Dubai too. And they was like, come on, let's go to Dubai. Like, you know what I mean? So it just was so aligned and so perfect, and it was such a fun trip, and I got to go with one of my best friends. So that was like a phenomenal experience. So at my birthday party, I ended up like, or like the night of my birthday party, I ended up meeting this guy, and I like invited him to my birthday party because I had met him like a few weeks before. And I was just like, well, I'm throwing a big party, like, if you want to swing by. Like, he didn't come like in the beginning or nothing. Like, he just kind of stopped by, like, you know, said, hey, happy birthday, whatever. I was like, extended the invite, like, make sure you pull up. This was a friend of one of my friends. I had met him, you know, he was kind of attractive. So I was like, oh, just, I'm having a party, you want to pull up, you know? So like, he pulls up, and literally after my birthday, we had started like dating. Like, I thought, like, I just felt like I met the one. Like, I felt like, okay, I was celibate, like, I worked on myself, like, maybe this is happening now. Like, I met this person that like I just felt so like attached to, so drawn to, you know, and just refreshed. Like, it was just something new, fun. Like, it was just so fun in the beginning. And yeah, I had really been convinced that like this may be my potential husband. Like, we would move into that space. So whatever, all of this starts to happen. So we are now gonna go through to basically around July. So I'm thinking things are great. So it's like April, May, June, July. We went on vacation. Like we was booed up, like always together. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it was feeling real, and it was like, okay, like are we gonna move into like a serious commitment soon? And I had kind of set the expectation from the beginning that, like, you know, after we date for 6 months, like my expectation would be that we're together. Like I don't really play to like let's waste each other's time type of game. Like, you know, I'm like, we're grown, like in our late 20s, like, you know, if this is something that we're gonna do and we're damn near spending every day together, we're going on trips, we're doing this and third, cooking, laid up, all that, like I'm pretty much your girl. So at this point, we need to move forward with a more serious commitment. And as that time approached, this person, after like telling me, you know, marriage is what they wanted, like kids is what they were thinking about, and just kind of like filling my head up with like the idea like we could really do this. And that's what made me even more vulnerable to this person, you know what I mean, was like, damn, like they really want the same things as me, like we could really do this. So it was kind of a shock when they just like out of nowhere just 360 flipped the script. And I would say I was really heartbroken in the beginning, and that's what made me actually go to that spiritual retreat that weekend, because I was just so overwhelmed with the fact that like I had opened myself up so crazy to somebody, and really had this idea that like it's kind of like, you know, a friend like just, it was like a, you know, like just a random ass like breakup. Like it was just kind of like, no, I don't want to move into that situation. This isn't working. Like out of nowhere one day they just like text my phone like, you know, I just don't think I can be with you anymore. Like, and I was just kind of like, what the fuck, like are you talking about? Like where's this coming from, you know what I mean? So it was very shocking and just like really disappointing, because it's like you really put your trust in somebody, and then it's like, damn, like what, like, you know. So whatever. So I end up going to the spiritual journey. So either way, when we break up, this person tells me that essentially one of my friends had disclosed some information to them, and they no longer trusted me, and that's why they didn't want to be with me, which was just ironic. Just keep this in mind. Like none of my friends are friends with him other than one person. So it was just very strange. He wouldn't tell anybody who told him anything, wouldn't tell me what was said, like acted like it was some major secret. So a few months later, things started coming to me, like, and this wasn't somebody I was going around town asking about. Like I reached out to them. Like we had gotten to a really, really bad fight like the last time that we spoke, and whatever. So long story short, I start to find out this person is around town speaking negatively on me, like just saying very, very disrespectful things. And it's just like, I did nothing to them. Like I did nothing to this person but like show up, show them nothing but like abundance of love. And it was just like something just evil turned, or like it was just weird, y'all. So I was just very much in dismay, because I'm like, how the hell can somebody like betray me like this? Like I did nothing. Like what the hell? Like why was I betrayed like this? And I was just so angry because I had allowed myself to like open up like that, especially because I had really been celibate before that. I really had closed myself off. So I had felt like it took a lot for me to really open up to somebody else, you know? So whatever. Long story short, me and this person go our separate ways. We still do not communicate to this day, and that's done. But that really broke my spirit. And when I tell y'all that made me start to meditate, that's what made me even go on that journey to go within again. Because then I felt like you tried it, but you only did it for 3 months. Maybe this time you really need to go within and just stop dealing with guys right now. Like that maybe not what God wants for you right now. Like maybe you really should go back to just focusing on yourself. So I ended up, hold on, let me go back to my little timeline. So, okay. So during the midst of this, right? So the breakup is the first, like just test of my faith. Cause it's like, you got to understand, this is somebody who was like, I love you. Like I want to do this with you, and just woke up and just flipped the script. Like I was literally like, God, like what did I do? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, why would you allow me, God, to like fall so deep in love with somebody and then let them just like break my heart, like just really, really hurt me, you know? I was like just confused, really angry with God, just kind of like not understanding what was going on. So during the midst of that, I ended up getting a roommate at my house. So I have a 3-story house, and I was like, you know what? I'm just in this big ass house by myself, And I was really skeptical because I don't know if you all know this, but I used to have a roommate. He was one of my friends, but I'd never done like a random roommate in my life. Like anybody I've ever really roommate with, I know them and we were friends. So, you know, I have friends who do this. They house hack. Like I was kind of just like, all right, whatever. Like I don't really mind. It's like damn near living for free. It's extra money. Like I don't really mind. Like I'll give it a try. And my mom kept like pressuring me. Like she was like, you're just losing out on free money. Like you living in that big house by yourself. Just put somebody in the room, y'all. This shit was like the fucking roommate from hell. Like it was like they weren't paying rent. They was having a boyfriend damn near live with them downstairs, smoking mad backwards in my shit, stinking the shit up, like losing jobs every 2-3 weeks. Like I'm helping this girl find new jobs, like feeling bad for her, like falling into her pity story, y'all. When I tell you this shit, this story gets so crazy. Like basically it got to the point where she didn't pay me on time. She owed me for like 2 months of utilities. Like she's walking around my house. She's not working. Like she's laid up down there with her nigga. Like I'm just like, hell no. Like you got to get up out my house and you're disturbing my peace. Like imagine coming home every day to something like that. Like you're just disturbed. Like this is my personal home, you know? So I'm just like, why the hell did I even listen to anybody? Why did I even decide to do some dumbass shit like this in my personal house? Like, so whatever. Shorty like doesn't pay. So one day I'm like trying to have a discussion with her about like paying the bills, and I'm like, look, I don't think this is working out. You can't afford to stay here. Like I think it's best that you just leave. I'll give you a month free, no rent. I just need you out in 30 days. She wasn't trying to go for that. She gets ballistic with me in my crib. We damn near throw hands. Like it just got so crazy so quick, and I like literally blacked out. Like I don't know how I did not hit this person in my home. Like it was the grace of God that I didn't just like strangle them like and just go crazy. Like because imagine somebody on top of this now in your personal home coming at you crazy, like face to face with you, cursing you out, telling you crazy shit. Like it was like the most insane thing that I have ever experienced. And I was like really just like, oh my God. So now after that whole situation, like she's not trying to get out of my house, and it's even more annoying because it's like we don't fuck with each other. I don't like you. Why do you want to stay in my house? Like get out, move. I'm not even charging you to leave. Just leave, you know? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So after we almost get into a fight, like a few days later, I text her and I was like, hey, you know, you never responded to my text. I'm asking you, will you be out in 30 days? You don't have to pay the remainder of anything. I just would like for you to leave my home. This girl goes on my balcony, which is out there, and what she didn't know is my bedroom window is above my balcony. So she goes on the balcony and I hear her on the phone and she's like, this B stays on my D. You know, she's like, oh, she's always deriding me. Like she's just going in like on me for asking her to leave without paying the rent. I said, this is all you owe. I don't even want no money no more. All I want for you to do is exit my home. I don't want to coexist with you anymore. And the thing is, because we had a lease, like I could break the lease, but she was refusing to leave. And the thing is, at that point, I would have to get her evicted, which could take 30 to 90 days, 1 to 3 months to get her out without her paying any bills. And she knew that, and she was trying to do that. So whatever, so she's out there. So I go in my room, I'm on the phone with my friend, and I'm just like, yo, like, this girl's talking crazy about me in my own home downstairs. She's like slamming my cabinets. Like, if I go down there, I'm going to fight her. Like, I don't have no more patience. Like, it's done ran out. And she responded to the message like, haha, y'all. Girl, I almost lost it, okay? So I'm like, haha, like, girl, you think this is a joke? Y'all, why did that same day, I literally went upstairs and I opened my Bible and I just started praying. And I was just like, God, like, I really can't do this. Like, I'm at my breaking point. Like, something bad is really going to happen. Like, I need this person out of my home. Y'all, literally, she goes downstairs. So after she does that, she goes downstairs, which is on the first level where her room was. And I'm on the 3rd level of my home upstairs, and starts blasting through the house, Beyonce, You Won't Break My Soul. Blasting it through the house. Mind you, she had asked me could she not pay the rent because her car was on the verge of getting repoed. So, you know, she was just like, I'd rather not, or like, I just rather not pay you until I can pay my car note, some shit like that. And that's how the whole fight even started, because I was like, yo, I don't really care. Like, you need to pay me my rent. You haven't paid. Like, get out, go live in your car. I don't know what you need to do, but not going for it. It's like, this is multiple times now and let you slide for over a month. You keep telling me it's coming. Like, now I'm just kind of like, if you can't afford to stay here, get out. So she starts blasting that music. Y'all, you know what I did? I went in my room because I was like, if I go down there, I'm going to beat her ass. So I went in my room and I called the cops. And I was just like, I have a tenant who's living here. She refuses to pay rent. She refuses to vacate. And now she's like blasting music through my home. So I was like, I would like to file a music complaint downstairs. And I would like for y'all to come tell her to turn the music off, because I'm not leaving my room, because I will get into a physical altercation with her. So that's what I called the police and told them. They come down, they come here within like, I would say 30 minutes. I'm in my room. So they come to my door and start knocking, like, because I didn't even hear them come through the front door. I just heard the music go off. So they come, one of the police is downstairs, one comes up to me, and so they're both asking, yada, yada, yada. So after a while, they're like, you know, we need your license and we need her license to like make a report of this, yada, yada, yada. Shorty ends up having 2 warrants on her, so they take her straight to jail out my crib. Now, all her stuff's locked in my home, and they're like, you cannot move her stuff while she's locked up. So I'm like, now this girl's gonna have even more issues with me. So I'm like, she's probably gonna have more issues with me, because now she's gonna get out of jail with that energy, you know? So I'm just like, So they were like, well, you can get her locked up if you say that you can file like you had threat in your home. So I'm like, she already down bad. She don't got no money. Like, I don't want her shit stuck in my crib. You in jail now. Like, I'm just like, yo, at this point, like, I don't care to press no charges on her. Can you just ask her, can she leave when she gets back? So I'm even nice on top of that and don't press charges on her, right? Cool. She gets back out of jail. And then she just comes back to the house, and she's basically like, well, they told me my rights and you can just go through with the eviction process. Like, I'll be staying here until. So I'm like, bro, I don't want this girl in my house for 1 to 3 more months. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't be around you. I was literally ready to leave my house, just leave for a few months. And I ended up going to Barbados for damn near half a month because of this, because I just needed to escape. And that ended up being a super spiritual trip that we're going to move into next. But whatever. So I just end up leaving her in my home, literally, and leaving the country for 2 months, 2 weeks. And I was like, I went to Barbados for like 14 days in Miami. So I was just like, I'm leaving. I was like, damn, like, you know, I'm leaving a stranger in my house. I went and I just changed all the locks, locked everything up but her room in my home. And I just left, and I put my dog away and left the house to her. When I tell y'all, I'm looking on my camera, she's bringing people in my fucking home, do like a get together one night. But like, just walking around my house naked, got her feet up on my fucking counter like this, like, just, I'm literally in the Caribbean, sick to my stomach. Like, this is a disgusting ass person, bro. Like, how dare you? How fucking dare you? Like, I'm literally losing my mind, y'all. Like, you don't even understand. Like, I'm like, how dare you even disrespect somebody's home, on top of the fact you're not even paying to be there. You that comfortable? It was crawling my skin, like, literally. So I'm just watching the videos. I'm just like, this girl cannot be serious. Like, it just doesn't stop, you know? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So after that, I'm just like, cool, like, whatever. So by the time I get back, so while I'm at the country, I offered her, so when she got out of jail, I said, yo, if you don't want to leave my crib, I said, I'll pay you $1,500 to get out of my house. How about that? You want to take some money or whatever? She denies the money. She's like, I don't want that money. I'm going to stay here until they evict me. So I'm just like, what the hell is this girl's issue? Like, it got to the point where it was like, she wanted to provoke me out. Like, she just really was trying to provoke me. So I'm like, okay. So a few days later, I'm about to leave out of town before Barbados, and I lock everything up. So I'm downstairs about to edit a YouTube video, and she comes out the room and she's like, do you mind editing after 10 a.m. because I'm sleeping? And I'm like, well, your car's not outside, so I didn't know you was in there. Like, sorry. She bust out the door, like, running outside, and they had to repoed her car because when she went to jail, they found that she was staying at my address. So now you have no car. So you know what she did a few days later? Oh, hey, do you think I could still get that money? Yeah, because now you're down bad, and now you really want the money to get your car back, and you're desperate for anything at this point. So I was like, yeah, you can definitely have the money, and I need you out my house by this day, and then I can cash app you it. Literally. So now she's like ready to move out immediately. which is making me phenomenally happy because I told her a date before I returned from Barbados. So it was like when I got back to my house, she would just be gone. So I'm like, okay, so you got to think, like, I'm going through a breakup at this time, damn near like house, who refuses to leave. And now I'm going to have to pay her $1,500 out of my pocket to get her out of my crib when she owes me damn near 2 months of utilities and her latest rent. So on top of the fact you've been living here for free, now I'm paying you to leave my house. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm like, bet, like, I'd rather pay somebody $1,500 for my peace of mind. Personally, it wasn't even about the money. I told you I didn't even charge her for the last month's rent. I was just like, yo, get out my crib. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. That whole situation gets solved and she ends up moving out my crib. Y'all, I was praying to God. I was so all over the place. You got to think, I'm out the country watching somebody live nasty in my house, be dirty, put their feet up, got people coming in my house. Like, it was just so disrespectful. It was just some tampering with my faith, like tampering with my temper. Once again, I went back into isolation those 14 days, which I really needed. Like, I disconnected from the world. I channeled so many messages. I meditated so much. Like, God really, really revealed himself to me on that trip, y'all. Like, I'm getting chills down my spine right now, just even thinking about when I was sitting by that ocean meditating, and I put that video up in Barbados. And in that moment, I kept feeling like I heard God tell me that you're supposed to be teaching and you're supposed to be speaking and you're supposed to be preaching to people. Like, you're supposed to really be out here helping people, motivating them, helping them understand like things and teaching them things in life. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm just like, really, really like just in a good space, and I'm just feeling great. But I cried that trip, y'all. I was so just all over the place. Like, I'd wake up just hysterically crying. Like, I just let it out. Like, I just let everything out. I just prayed so much. Like, all I did was just meditate, pray, cry, release, like, just spend time with me. Like, be in my freaking sorrows, be in my happy moments. I spent some time with my family. I was by the water, by the beach, just spent time alone, went to the spa, like just whatever I needed to do to kind of just bring myself back to a place where I felt like whole again, felt balanced again, and just really like in a positive space, you know? So I was kind of just like, okay, positive, like coming back. When I get back, so this summer, I don't know if you guys saw, but I had basically started a trucking a partnership with someone, and this person ended up robbing me for almost $30,000. Like, so I ended up buying a truck, a brand new truck, which was like almost $90,000, and obviously I financed it, but the note on that truck was damn near $1,500 a month, like $1,400. On top, I have my normal car note, you know? So whatever. So I get the truck and I get the equipment to run the trucking. And basically the agreement I had with my partner was that he would run the day-to-day operations and I was just making a financial investment around the equipment. We knew each other. We've done business before and I had done hookah stuff with him. But I will say, just because you've done business with somebody doesn't mean you could trust somebody. And that business was so light compared to what I didn't understand that I was stepping into with this trucking situation. So whatever. So initially, like when I say I lost 30,000, so initially I had put up like maybe 4,000 or 5,000 on the down payment for the truck, almost 1,000 for the trailer. Oh, and then I got a trailer too. So the trailer was like 700 a month. So those bills were about 2,200 a month alone, just before profiting, insurance, anything like that, gas, whatever, the driver, yada, yada, yada. So cool. So now I've incurred these prices and this person is running my truck. Like, they ran 30 something thousand miles within 90 days on my truck from July to October. I got back from Barbados in the beginning of September. So within a month, everything came crashing down to the point where this person literally defaulted on paying the bills when they were supposed to take care of that because they're the one running the operations every day. Like, I was really just the investor. Like, you're leasing my equipment. You get what I'm saying? So I'm starting to get calls like they're not paying, like, you know, da da da. Now they're ducking and dodging me. So something in me, like my friend, one of my friends, like my homie, he does trucking. He was like, yo, this man is robbing you. Like, I know you've been cool. I know he's been telling you every week, like, he's going to pay you, you know, he's going to get you your money. But I'm telling you by now, the amount like he's bringing in, because I had an Excel sheet from the dispatcher showing how much the truck was bringing in. Now, our original agreement was that I was going to dispatch my truck. As soon as we got the the truck, he decided he didn't want to let me dispatch because it was new. We wanted to make money really fast and get it on the road. So he was like, let's use a dispatcher who's experienced for the first few months, and then you can just transition over once we get it up and running, which was cool with me because, I mean, we were going to be, you know, paying an extra like maybe 5 to 7%. But it was like also like, I'd rather like just see how this works out, see if I even have to dispatch. But I just kind of like trusted this person, you know what I'm saying? So whatever. Long story short, I called the driver and he would tell me every week, the reason I can't pay you is because I have to pay the driver. So I'm just like, that's not making sense. Like, what? Like, so I end up calling the driver, and he was literally, because this man hasn't paid him in so long, he sent him from here, Georgia, to drive to the state of Washington, and he was on his way back. And essentially, he was like, I'm gonna leave this trailer like across the country, like, cause I'm just so sick of this. Like, I don't have no gas. He left him stranded in Texas. Like, I had to spend so much money, y'all. I had got a check for like $17,000 the day that all this unfolded, and I had already like maybe almost $4,000 in stuff that the dude had told me he was already gonna pay me for, that I had paid for. So now we're at $8,000. Then he drops the trailer off. He leaves my truck across the street with some keys in it. Like, doesn't even return it, just leaves it in the street, like across the street in a community. Like, you could go pick the truck up. Because I told him, either I'm going to report my shit stolen, or you can have the driver come bring it back. So within that day, I had to find a truck stop to park a truck and a trailer, which cost me $600 that day. I had to get the driver back. That was another $600 in gas. I had to pay off almost the $4,000. So we're at like $1,200 plus four. So 62 plus the other four, which is like, okay, let's say almost $11,000. Then all the bills start coming in. So now I had to pay the bills until I could sell this truck. And guess what? Because he had ran my truck so much in 90 days, the truck had lost $27,000 in value. So now the loan was in the negative. So if I wanted to get out the situation on top of it to sell the truck, I would have to pay another 20 racks to come out of my pocket. So that would have been already like 30,000 right there. But okay, whatever. I didn't do that. So I ended up paying $2,000 a month for almost 4 months. So that's another 8,000 on top of the 11. So we're at like about $19,000 in cash that I have spent. And I had done a lot more because I had to keep deciding. I was just really praying to God, like, should I put this truck back on the road and run this trucking business by myself? Or should I like just go ahead and try to figure out, should I just sell it, cut my losses, take a $30,000, $40,000 loss and move out? So I decided to like basically pay for everything I needed to get the truck back on the road, which cost me a significant amount of money as well. But I still wasn't sure, but I did it. So that I could, you know what I mean, really just go ahead and be prepared for whatever I felt like God would lead me to do. So cool. This all happens, and through all this, like, y'all, all I did was pray. All I did was stay down, and I'm like, God, I don't know why I'm being tested like this. I don't know why I'm going through all these crazy things. Like, I don't do nothing to nobody. Like, I always just take care of everything and everybody around. Like, why am I being tested like this? And it wasn't till the end of everything, like, y'all, when I tell y'all everything worked itself out, like, I ended up getting this X6, which is damn near a $90,000 car now, like, upgrading my car. The girl moved out my house. Like, I got my home back and my peace of mind back. You know, I was able to not go in debt because I had so much money just stacked up, because that year I was just like, I'm saving all my money this year. Like, whatever I touch from commission checks, I'm just going to put that up. So I at least had the 30,000 liquid cash to handle the situation, get out of it. This was after my first month. I had made $30,000 this year, like last year, like, and that my goal is 40,000 a month. So it was just like, why is it this so bad? I had got the job at Microsoft. So like all these bad things were happening. It was just so many positives that like were counteracting it, that it was really confusing me, and I did not know how to really receive that. But full circle moment, here we are. Yesterday I was able to finally sell the trailer, and received a message from God, like just praying and watching something last night, that I was like, okay, this is confirmation. Like, you've finally been delivered from everything that you went through this year, and you really need to speak on this story, because this whole situation, y'all, when I tell you, it triggered my faith. It brought me to one of the lowest places, like mentally I had been, but I was so strong. Like, I didn't like really let this break me at all. I just kept praying. Like I kept praying, and like everything worked itself out so amazing. Y'all don't understand. Like the grace of God is just so immaculate. And this journey, like I literally just made a list, and this is kind of how I want to wrap the video up, because what I lost was a relationship. I lost peace in my home. I lost 30,000 in cash, and I lost my favorite car because I sold my favorite car to get this new car, which is way better, but whatever. But what I gained was I gained the art of learning how to meditate and spend time with God. I learned how to be the most peaceful through the storms that I've ever encountered in my life. I gained tenacity in my faith. I gained a new job at Microsoft, which was way more money than what I was making before. I gained new opportunities with brand deals. Like I have a new car now that's like a $90,000 car. Like y'all, like when I tell you, like everything in my life is just working itself out so immaculately that I'm like, God like just works in such mysterious ways. And I felt very compelled to share this story just because honestly, y'all, like sometimes when we're going through things, we don't want to speak on them. And I feel like this is really the truth that I live in. And it's like we get online and everybody tries to act perfect and paint this picture. And it's like people really go through real things. And despite that, I still was able to hold it together. I have a home, a mortgage, I have cars, I have tons of bills and responsibilities that most people at 27 really do not have. And for me to not even sweat a dollar or a penny that didn't, like God provided everything for me to sustain myself no matter what. I just feel like if you're really watching this message, what I hope you receive is that you know, you will really receive the blessings that he has promised for you. Do not give up. Like really maintain your faith. Try to spend time with him every day. Try to really build that relationship and that faith, because when I tell you, when you lock in with God, like he really has your back. He really is there, and he really shows up for you in ways that you cannot understand or cannot imagine. I just like to think of myself like this, like when I'm meditating, like I think of myself sitting in the eye of a storm just at peace. And I'm like, no matter what is going on around me, God is my rock and he has me solidified and centered. And I trust in that now so much more. And this experience has really brought me to a place where I can say I understand what faith is, and I understand what it is to be tested. And I understand how he brought that full circle for me and showed me how to now persevere and put my faith in God. And when they say let go and let God, like I really had to do that because I had no other options. Like there was nothing I can do in these situations. They were so out of my control, and that was something that was broken, like my need to control things instead of letting God do what he needs to do in my life. So that is my message. I really hope this resonates with people and you understand to just have faith, keep the tenacity going, don't give up on your dreams, believe it, believe in it, and most importantly, know that what is for you will never miss you, and what God has planned for you, no one can take that from you. And I do not think that any of these people who were my enemies are above me now. I don't think that, like, you know, I think God has definitely promised what kind of we talked about in the beginning of the video, like do not worry, as long as you put your faith in me, I'm gonna handle your enemies. And he is blessing me tenfold, and I feel like it's because I did not seek revenge. I didn't get angry. I just stayed down. I trusted him and I had faith, and I encourage you to do the same.